Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Janee for those who are new here. In today's video, we're going to be doing a study the Bible with me video, or basically studying a particular verse that I feel like that is needed during this time. Not just during this time though, but all times. But I think right now, most people need to understand where their peace comes from. Even during a storm, even when things don't seem well, we have to know that our peace comes from God alone. See, when we try to look for the world for peace, when we try to look to the world for joy, we are only going to end up empty. The world cannot give us the peace that Jesus has promised us. So let's look into this Bible verse. Today I'm going to be using my Bible journal. So I'm going to write down this Bible verse, and I'm going to be looking at today is Sunday, and I'm going to be looking at John 14 and 27. Let's read that together. Peace I leave you. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Don't let your heart be troubled or fearful. Okay, let's read that over together. Again, let's highlight that as well. Okay, John 14 and 27 says, peace I leave you, my peace I give to you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Don't let your heart be troubled or fearful. Okay, here's the thing. God says, peace I leave you, my peace I give to you. He also reminds us that he does not give the peace that the world gives. So here's the thing. When you try to look to the world for peace, you have to keep on filling yourself up with things, with people, with places, with job, with money. The world peace is a constant chase. When you look for peace in the world, you're constantly going to be trying to fill yourself up with things and places and trying to fill voids. But I want to remind you that the peace of God is everlasting. The peace of God is a peace that stays with you forever. And it's a peace that God gives to you that is not like the world. When you get his peace, you have everything that you need in his peace. All those voids will be filled. Okay? So God reminds us, peace I leave you. My peace I give to you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Don't let your heart be troubled or fearful. God is reminding us in his peace, we have to understand that we cannot be fearful. We cannot be troubled. It does not mean that we won't go through storms. It does not mean that things won't happen, but it does mean in those trying times, we can trust God. We can depend on God. We can have his peace, not the peace of the world, because the world is crazy. The world is chaotic, but in him we have peace. And we should not let our hearts be troubled. We should not let our hearts be fearful. Okay? The thing in here that stood out to me the most is where God said, my peace I give to you. My peace I give to you. Okay? And another thing that stood out to me is I do not give you as the world gives. Because guess what? The world's peace is nothing that we want. The world's peace is a false hope. It's always let down. You're always running in circles. You're constantly trying to be filled up. The world's peace is just something that you don't want to keep running back to, okay? Okay, what I understand is that God's peace is what everyone truly needs. Not just some of us, but everyone needs God's peace, right? And I can apply this to my life by letting my heart not be troubled. When I feel fearful, when I feel anything but peace, I can go to God and say, God, give me your peace, Lord. Give me your peace that what it looks like, God, I thank you for your peace. No matter what it seems like, God, I thank you for your peace. And I can run to God and I can ask God for his peace, because God said he will give me his peace. God said he will leave me his peace. And that is exactly what is happening here. Jesus says that peace I leave you, my peace I give to you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Don't let your heart be troubled or fearful. Guys, we have to understand that our peace is in God. See, when you start to look into the world, when you start to see the things that are going around, you're going to start to get troubled. You're going to start to get fearful. And those are okay to start to feel that way. It's okay when those things come up, but we have to understand, have to check those things, because if we don't check those things, they will become strongholds. See, what happens is if you're always fearful, always walking around with this, always walking around with that, they become strongholds when you do not check them. So let's begin to check those things that are not of God, that try to come into our life, that try to settle in our mind, that try to tell us we're not good enough, that try to tell us we will never have peace, that try to tell us that we are crazy. Those things that try to come into your mind, start pulling those down with the word of God. Because the word of God tells us to do these things. The word of God tells us to think on things that are good, right? So when those things come about, you can say, you know what? Jesus said he's going to leave me peace. And that I cannot depend on the world to give me peace, because I do not give to you as the world gives. That peace is not good peace. That peace will have you empty and dry. The world's peace will have you doing crazy things. The world peace will have you having to come back and get a refill at the refill at the refill at the refill at the refill, and you'll be looking for somebody, and tomorrow to be in your job, and tomorrow, next day to be in the person, and next day to be in a relationship. The world's peace is something that we don't want to ask God for. We want to ask God to give us your peace, God. God, I want the peace that you give us, God. The peace that will not let my heart be troubled. The peace that will not let me be. We say, Lord, your word will not return to you void. God, I thank you that you have given me peace. God, I thank you that I do not have to live in fear. But your word says you have given me peace. Your word says I do not have to be troubled. I do not have to be fearful. The peace is found in God. So as I journal through here today, the people in the passage, we know one of the people are Jesus. And I stumble and I feel this out. And then how can I apply this to my life? When fear tries to come up, I can remember what God's word says. So here's the thing. It's not saying dismiss your feelings, do this, but it is saying don't let fear ruin your life. Don't try to look to the world for peace, because it will only leave you empty and dry. Okay? So I hope you guys enjoyed this simple, quick Bible verse study. Remind you that peace is given through God. Joy is given through God. Remain in God and he will give you peace. Remain in God and he will start pruning those branches that are not of him. Remain in God and watch God work through you guys. I love you guys so much, and understand that the peace of God is for everybody. Have a blessed day.